AM 1600 KIVA on the app at ABQ.FM and on your TV at rockoftalk.tv. I'm Eddie Aragon, the Rock of Talk. Glad to be here with you with another installment. Tego, Tracy, Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Albuquerque Real Estate Talk. 7 years strong here with these experts. And as always, we're here to help you out with some real estate advice each day. And every time we do the show, it's a jam-packed show with my good friends who want to make sure that you're making the right decisions in this very treacherous but opportunistic real estate market. Tego and Tracy, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Wouldn't you say, Tracy? Little treacherous, but lots of opportunities out there for buyers and sellers, I would say.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
We're always happy to be here 7 years strong. It's been great. We learned so much getting ready to be on the radio because you have your Statomatic here, who always knows the numbers and can help people make sure.
Show prep, Eddie. You know all about show prep, right?
Yeah. Well, we can't do it without that data, and that's we got to have data-driven decisions. And you guys have been doing such a remarkable job of making sure. I have to say, you definitely want to follow Tego on Facebook. He does a really, really solid job of getting out the latest market statistics. This week, I happened to peep in or check in where he was at with the end of the year stuff. That's exciting because this is probably 2020. If there's any good news, if there's any silver lining that's coming from real estate, so we definitely want to jump into that, and that's exciting. I love how passionate, and I do mean that sincerely. 523 units sold on the year, the number one real estate group here in the state of New Mexico, and that, of course, is Tego and Tracy Venturi. 523 units is a remarkable year, more than a home a day being sold by them. So if anybody's going to know the market, no one's going to know it better than them. So without further ado, I'm going to let them go ahead and take it away. Tego and Tracy, I'll let you take it away. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks for the intro, Eddie.
So many things we want to talk about today. I'm not sure we're going to get to them all. So let's start with the hottest one.
Which is, please list your home for sale. How about that?
We're buyers.
Not too proud to beg.
Yeah.
Not too proud to beg here. It is, I mean, I'm seeing it and we're all hearing it from other realtors in the Albuquerque area. How many buyers would you say, Tracy, do we have just in our team that are waiting for the right home to come on the market? They're approved. They're ready to go.
Probably over 40.
Yeah.
When I think about everybody and how many they've been talking about. And yeah, we have a lot, especially looking under 250,000. A lot of first-time buyers that are so smart to take advantage of the interest rates right now and lock in their monthly housing costs for 30 years and pay their own mortgage and wealth build through home ownership. So especially that. So if you're thinking of getting a bigger house and moving up, your house is in demand right now. And there are more homes for sale and they'll higher prices if you're going to, upsize what you're doing right now.
Let me put some stats on that. So right now, I know, I got to talk about, well, it's really extraordinary. I hate words like it's a crisis and stuff like that. I will say though, right now we have just under 900 homes or right at 900 homes on the market in the Albuquerque area right now. And that is extraordinary. We really in a quote healthy or balanced market, we could have somewhere as many as 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 homes on the market. By the way, somebody quoted my stat on that, but that's true. In the paper the other day. But it is. I mean, really, we have so few homes on the market, and there's so many buyers out there looking, and I think we have this kind of catch-22 problem, Tracy. And correct me if I'm wrong, where you have people, they want to sell, they'd like to sell, but they're in the same boat. They need a home. They can't find what they're looking for.
Right.
And so it's like the chicken or egg thing, right?
Yeah. However, those people that need to sell to buy, we just need to meet and put the strategy together because we have buyers who are willing to wait, willing to lease back that house to you until you find the house you want so you can be a ready buyer versus having to make a purchase contingent on the sale of your home. But we can do it contingent on the sale of your home too. So meeting with us, putting a strategy in place and getting you in the right home, that's the best way.
There are, and there's some great strategies. The lease back is a great one. There's different ways. So you close and have the money in the bank as a seller and then have time to find or wait for that next home to come on the market. There are buyers out there that are willing to take that deal right now because they can't find anything if your house is the right house. So anyway, if you're thinking at all about selling, give us a call. How do people get a hold of us, Tracy?
Sure, the best. Give us a ring. Our main office line, 448-8888. And most times that number will be picked up, whether it's day or night. Sometimes you get one of us, but most of the time you get Rose or Aaron. So just give us a ring. We'll schedule a time either virtually or in person or on the phone, FaceTime, Google Messenger, however it works, just to meet with you and talk with you about your needs. So we are Venturi Realty Group of Keller Williams Realty, and all that Eddie said, right? Albuquerque real estate talk for over 7 years.
Yep. And now we're publishing these shows as podcasts. You can go back and find us on YouTube with history of all these recordings, and we've started to take some of the topics and chop them up so that they're very specific to an issue. So we talked about, like, what does a title company do, right? And so we put together a show that just does that. One last thing I want to talk about with this whole inventory shortage, number of homes on the market so low, is we do know that homes are going to sell in this market if they're priced to the market. However, just because it's gonna sell, don't make the mistake and leave money on the table, because if you do a poor job getting the home ready for sale, if you do a poor job with photography, and then what the realtor does, all the marketing stuff, putting the word out, the virtual tours, that's going to make a difference on how much you end up netting on the home. And just because it's going to sell doesn't mean that you're putting as much money as possible in your pocket. So think about that when and if you're going to be listing your home for sale.
Right. And what we've seen is sometimes people decide to do a for sale by owner, but what they typically do is they reduce their price by the amount they would pay an expert to market and sell their house and handle all the negotiations and handle all the repair requests and things. So, we believe that we can net you the same amount by having us represent you.
Let me just give one more stat on that, and we can go on to the news of the week. I've got a couple headlines I want to hit, but there's been a lot of studies recently, and since 2006, when really the internet kicked in as a place for people to shop for homes. Before that, it was much more traditional. You
drive
call your
around
realtor, you drive around, right. So since 2006, but what actually has happened, and at the beginning of that, people were thinking, well, the realtor won't be as important, we can do this all online. Well, what's happened is it's actually the number of people using a realtor or a real estate professional to help them has actually increased since 2006. And so it's kind of interesting.
A lot of the reason for that is it's complicated.
It is.
And there's a lot of money at stake and, not leaving money on the table. So Tego.
Headlines.
In the news.
Yes.
This week.
I'm going to go through this quick because I know we got a lot of other stuff we want to talk about. We want to talk about the Clawfus, Tracy. We're going to talk about the Clawfus. But first, in the news, interest rates. Interest rates did bump up in the last week. They're still, 3%. They went from 2.75 to 3. It depends on the program. So,
but we expect him to go up a little bit more here.
Yeah. So Jason Pike with, which company is Jason with? I can't remember. And he was
Waterstone.
Waterstone. Thank you. Waterstone Mortgage. He's one of the bigger lenders in New Mexico. And he was just saying, about a 1/4 point bump. And so that was kind of interesting, although interest rates are still extraordinarily low. Extreme shortage of homes available. Okay, we just covered all that, but this is nationwide. It's pretty much in every market. There's a very few markets that don't have that. San Francisco condo market, for example, I'm hearing is actually kind of have an oversupply. But for the most part, all over the country, there's just not enough homes for demand. You saw something from Phoenix the other day, right, Tracy?
Oh, yeah. The shortage there is equally as bad, if not worse, of homes on the market. Yeah. And their prices are up significantly and expected to continue to go up.
A couple of things I just want to put out there because these are kind of in the back of people's mind is the whole delinquency and the number of people that have gone delinquent on their mortgages since the beginning of the pandemic. And if you're not aware, there was a forbearance program that was rolled out so people could basically put a pause on their mortgage payments until they're ready to start paying again. And what we've seen is, since the beginning, a steady decline in the number of people that are on those programs, and that has continued. The latest stats from Mortgage Bankers Association confirms that more and more people are coming off those programs. Another thing that happened this week, kind of in the same vein, is that the FHA did extend what they're calling the foreclosure and eviction memorandum.
Moratorium.
And so if it's a government insured mortgage, they're not going to be foreclosing on that home. There's a moratorium on that. That brings up a whole nother conversation about why we're short for homes. And that's part of it, is because these homes that, even homes that were in the foreclosure process before last March haven't come on the market because of this moratorium. That's a whole nother debate, but it's an interesting point to recognize. And now they've extended it through March 31st of this year. President Biden just signed that extension. So I thought that was interesting.
President Biden, that's the first time I've heard you say that.
I know.
Here we are.
I think that is the first time I've said that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So lots of things in the news.
No comment.
Let's talk about clawfish. So you told me that word, and I said clawfish. I've seen clawfish. Yes.
Yeah. What's a clawfish?
A clawfish is an office in somebody's closet, right? But I have seen exactly what you were mentioning, where it's not like a big walk-in closet. It's just the closet with a door, or the double sliding doors removed and the desk pushed to the back of the closet.
Yeah, I mean, a standard closet.
It's just a regular
inches. Yeah, standard closet's 2 foot deep, right? And so
standard desk, about the same.
And so I saw this, and then on Pinterest they had a bunch of different, of course on Pinterest they have a slideshow for everything, but there's clawfish photos showing what people have done that needed an office space, and they had a closet that maybe wasn't being used.
It was an extra bedroom or something, or they made their bedroom also have an office, and they used that little 24-foot deep closet to put a desk and make some shelves and get set up, whether it's for school as a child or a college student or working from home. So pretty interesting. So if you think you don't have office space, you might in a bedroom with a closet or a hall closet. I actually showed a house a couple weeks ago where they had made sort of a entry closet into their office. So lots of creative. There's one under stairs. So look at Pinterest if you want to get some inspiration on that one. So
it's a really good, efficient use of space. And obviously in the, where people are now working from home, they're trying to figure out a way to have a space, and maybe a little private too.
I think by now, most people have figured it out.
That's
it just
good point.
Dawned on me today, Tego, that we're almost at a year of being in this COVID situation. Most people have already figured out how to do school, how to do homework, how to work from home, how to get their dogs not to bark. Oh, we haven't figured that one out yet. When I work from home, very often one of our 3 dogs will start barking because they see something outside and have to bark.
Well, I think it's funny how people are, oh, my dog, I apologize, I'm sorry. It's like, no, we're past that. Yeah, you don't have to apologize for your dog barking.
That reminds me, Tego, we were on a Zoom, you and I, about a week ago with a national producer of a TV show.
Yep.
Like for, those TV shows you see on Bravo or whatever, I don't know, HGTV, interviewing us. And it's funny because I said, I'm outside and standing in the wind with my laptop set on top of something so I could stand. And I'm like, whatever, I'm full disclosure. I said, the reason I'm outside is because what's going on in my house, I can't be there right now. And he laughed and he said, well, look at me. I'm in my San Francisco condo and I can't even get internet. And I'm sitting here, and he stood up. He said, 5 minutes ago, I was in my shorts or something. And he showed us that, he was doing the typical on-screen, looking good from the from the chest up.
There's been a lot of funny memes out there on that.
What people are wearing below when they're in their Zoom.
Exactly.
So, new topic.
Well, it kind of ties into, the trends, right, Tracy, and ties into this. So we were talking about the clawfish. but some of the things that have kind of come out of 2020 and now going into 2021, what are some of the challenges that our market, the real estate market as a whole, is going to have? So Realtor Magazine did some surveys of realtors from around the country. And so they come up with 7 things, and we can just talk about this really quick, Tracy. Clearly, inventory shortage. We've already hammered that in today's show. Again, it's everywhere. The number of homes on the market is much lower than what we would like to see. You want to go through?
Widely distributed vaccines to boost confidence of the population, right?
There are definitely people that have not put their home on the market because they don't want to
move around during COVID.
They don't want to move around. They don't want people in their house. So, yep.
Interesting, though. I think in New Mexico, we're on a couple different Facebook groups with top agents across the country that are from all brokerages, not just Keller Williams Realty, as well as the top realtors around the country and world with Keller Williams. And it seems like here in New Mexico, a lot of people are getting vaccinations, and in other states, they don't even have a registry yet. They don't even have a place to get in line. Whereas we do. It sort of feels like we know a lot of people around us that have already had their first shot, and some their second this week. So maybe we're ahead of the curve on getting those.
Yeah, it does seem that way just based on the little bit of evidence we have, but that is true.
Yeah, it isn't a lot of evidence.
Yeah. Let me speak to this one, obviously, is right up my alley, is, the third thing they're saying is that homes will be lost to foreclosure. Obviously, there's still 5.3% or 5%. I don't remember the exact number. It's like 5.2% of homeowners are delinquent, right? But most of those people are in a forbearance plan. Some people are going to come out of the forbearance plan and just start making their payments, but some people will have to sell their home. The good news is delinquency does not equal foreclosure. Thank you. Yes, delinquency does not equal foreclosure. Delinquency means that you can't make your payment and you either have to sell your home, or if you can't sell the home and pay off the bank, then the bank ends up taking it back. The reality is, though, that the people are in such a super strong equity position, especially when you compare it to 2008.
Meaning they can sell the home and pay off the loan and probably still walk away with some cash in their pocket. Whereas in 2008, they couldn't sell the home for a price high enough to pay off the loan, which is why there were so many foreclosures.
Yeah.
We're not in that position right now.
The fourth thing that people are talking about are interest rates. We talked about that briefly. There's no indication that interest rates are going to get pushed up any substantial.
Even if they went up a point, right, it would make a difference in buyers' ability to buy, but they're still exceptionally low when you look at the history of 50 years of interest rates for residential real estate.
Gonna hit that one, Tracy. Number 5.
A permanent shift to remote work could encourage more moves. So we know about this very firsthand, right? We know several people who are working remotely, and they don't have to stay where they're living, and they can move to where they want to. So they're living in another state. They're from Albuquerque. They might want to move home and continue to work at that developer job or that, graphic design job that they used to have to go into their office for. But their company has now said, we have a permanent ability for you to work remotely. They don't want you back at work, right? They're downsizing their offices and going, hey, this kind of is nice. We're getting good productivity and we're not paying for office space or all of that. So we're seeing a lot more of that.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that's going to continue. There's definitely going to be a shift in the work from home idea. So
yeah,
the sixth one on this list here, and again, we're going through the list of some, what survey of real estate agents, some of the biggest housing issues, 7 of the biggest housing issues. So number 6 is that surges in the virus. If we see surges in the virus again, that for the most part, let me say it this way, people are over it. And it's not going to panic people as much, obviously, as it did back, at the beginning of last year.
We've gotten more accustomed to, they've surged this week. Yeah.
Yeah, people have, it's it's the whole psychology of it, right? Everybody's much more used to it and not as freaked out as we used to be.
So the last reason where what we believe will be concern is affordability challenges. And that persists because house prices are going up. Although if we can keep interest rates low, you can afford more house with a lower interest rate. So
let me just say that when we talk about affordability, okay, we're talking nationally. However, if we look at Albuquerque, we are much more affordable than most any other southwestern city.
We really
Maybe
are.
El Paso is more affordable. But Tucson's more, Phoenix area's more, Colorado Springs. I mean, all these cities, a lot of I think San Antonio is very similar, but San Antonio has much higher property taxes. So, it's our affordability here, I think we're in a good place, even though home prices went up somewhere 8 to 10% is what it's looking like last year. We're still in a really good place compared to other markets.
Absolutely.
And so what was the top? You have a home you want to talk about.
Well, I was going to say, if we're done, I've got a couple homes of the week to talk about,
You
right?
go.
I have to get the right place up, though. So we have one that's got an open house Saturday.
Is this the one in Bosque and Cantata?
No, Flint Rock,
Oh, Flint Rock. Okay.
I believe.
Yep.
Flint Rock is northwest Albuquerque. Yep. It's a Pulte home in the Boulders. It's a larger home, almost 3,400 square feet for $425,000.
Remind people where the Boulders is.
The Boulders is golf course, McMahon, Irving kind of area.
Yeah, golf course.
Paseo.
Is that Unser right there? Or is that?
It is Unser. You're
That's right. It's Unser
and Paseo generally.
Yeah,
So
Paradise,
and it is the Volcano Vista High School. No, actually, it's Cibola. Yeah, and
boy, it sounds like we really got our act together, don't we?
James Monroe Middle School, which is right there in Paradise Hills. So it's in the Boulders. Pulte, built in 2016, large house, 6 bedrooms or 7 bedrooms. That is exceptionally rare in our market. So if you're looking for a house with 6 or 7, 6, and you could convert some space to make a 7th bedroom. It's also 4.5 baths. So 4 full baths plus a half bath. So really exceptional floor plan. This one's open Saturday, 1/23. So
today,
Saturday from 2 to 4.
Yep.
And that's with Shayna Garcia.
This is the first time it'll be available to see it.
That's right.
Is Saturday. So, if you're looking at, and of course, going back to our whole conversation about how much demand there is out there, this is gonna, I would suspect, sell pretty quick, even at the
even at 425. You think about the size of that home.
Yeah.
Almost 3,400 square feet with 6 bedrooms and could be more. Really great opportunity, and it's got really beautiful finishes and a beautifully landscaped backyard and covered patio.
The address real quick, Tracy, if somebody just wants to Google the address.
9509 Flint Rock Drive Northwest.
Got it.
9509 Flint Rock.
Or just give us a call. Again, it's Venturi Realty Group, Keller Williams Realty. We're at 448-8888. Schedule a showing.
One other house, Tego.
Yep.
This one's so exciting. It's $799,500. It's in Bosque and Cantata, which is in Bernalillo.
We talked about that neighborhood last week. It's a gem of a 2 weeks ago, real gem of a little neighborhood down there by the river. Yeah.
This one is first weekend for showings, Saturday and Sunday, the 23rd and 24th, and it's really beautiful. The photos are just spectacular of this property, mountain views, and it's a custom home, 3,300-ish square feet again. But Bosque and Cantado is off Sheriff's Posse on the west side of the river. A lot of people think it's Rio Rancho. It's not. It's Bernalillo. It's across from Bosque Brewing. The old Jackalope.
Yeah, exactly.
Is where that neighborhood is on the south side of 550 there.
You can also get to it from like the Walmart off of
from 528. There's 2 ways into that neighborhood for sure. But it's on, one of those larger lots that are basically an acre. This one's 1.12 acres, larger lot. This Bosque and Cantado is a gated neighborhood. Really great, especially for people who want to commute to Santa Fe, people who normally would look at homes in Placitas or Mariposa or East Mountains. or the North Valley or along the river, because this neighborhood is up against the river. There's a lot of big, tall cottonwood trees. So
it's a pretty spot. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did I hear that the widening happened for 550 through Bernalillo?
Chriselle on our team said that they've got it open through Bernalillo so far.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's all the way to Sheriff's Posse where you would turn off to this neighborhood. Because I believe the 550, 528 interchange still has quite a ways to go.
Got it.
This one is listed by Jane Way on our team, and she's holding it open. So if you're interested, call us at the 448-8888 to learn more. It is incoming soon. The new photos haven't been loaded yet as we're speaking, but they will be probably by the end of today. So there's two awesome ones. We have a few others in the hopper, Tego, that I can't give specifics on yet.
Yeah.
But they're going to be the ones that are in that low 200. One's in Ventana Ranch. One's in Northern Meadows of Rio Rancho. 225 and 200, and they're coming next week. So if you're looking for something and you haven't found it, have your realtor call us or give us a call to be your realtor and help you find the right property.
Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, done here for more than 7 years, right here in the Kiva, as we have appreciated the expertise of both Tego and Tracy Venturi doing everything they possibly can to make sure that you get top dollar, that there's no money left on the table on your home. And the important part of that, of course, has everything to do with market data to make sure that you have that information. All you have to do is pick up the phone and dial today, 448-8888. That's 448-8888, or welcomehome.abq.com. It really is that easy. Anything else?
Hey, do we have just like 1 minute, Eddie?
We do. Go ahead.
There's a report that Realtor.com does. It's interesting. They call it the cross market demand. You'll find this interesting. And so, one of the questions I get, and somebody at the Journal asked me, it's like, well, where are buyers coming from? Well, I think for the most part, most of them are right here, right? They're right here in our market is where people are. However, when you look at from out of state, the top markets in this order are the Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim area. So, and the next is New York, Newark, New Jersey. So that whole kind of Pennsylvania, Newark, that whole area. There's a lot of people, and what they're doing is they're tracking the homes that they have listed in the Realtor.com website, which is a big national site. And the people that are looking at homes in Albuquerque, where are they? And so that's what they're coming up with. So it's LA, New York, Dallas, Fort Worth,
then
Phoenix, Tucson, Denver, Santa Fe. Interesting. Looking at Albuquerque, the Albuquerque
Actually, I talked
area.
to someone this week in Santa Fe wanting to move to Albuquerque.
There you go.
go.
Affordability.
Then it's Las Vegas, Chicago, and Washington area. It's interesting because the moving companies, Atlas Van Lines and all of those beacons, they also do these. And it's interesting because they have real data where they're actually moving people from, and the cities are very, very identical. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, that's like nowhere else. You can only get them from the Statomatic and her, his wonderful wife and sidekick, Tracy. They are Tego.